Bakeball, presented by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. We got Trevor Plouffe wearing a sweatshirt I don't think I've ever seen him wear in the middle seat. And BBD behind the dish. Trev, we were with you this weekend. We had a good time. We can't talk about it too thoroughly. Can't give any spoilers away, but where did you get that sweatshirt and what is it?
It's very observant of you. I have not worn this sweatshirt on camera yet. You'll be familiar with who gave it to me. Nameless Jeff got it for me for my birthday. So a little chilly out here to start my mornings. I like to just be nice and warm back here at Magnum Condom Studios. It was a blast seeing you guys, hanging with you. James, wonderful family, was out there. Got to see baby James and Katie. That was nice. And yeah, just an overall great weekend. You really felt the camaraderie and the environment, the vibe that you've curated out there. All you guys have curated out there. And it's special, dude. It really is. Anyone that comes in and like is part of stuff that we do, like guests, they always leave like feeling like they're part of it. And I think that's like, it's not normal, dude. So congratulations on that. It's nice.
Well, thank you.
Jake, what's up, bro?
Trevor, nothing's normal in a simulation. I think if anyone would understand that, I thought it would be you. But yeah, pretty electric weekend. That being said, excited to talk some baseball with the boys because that's what we do. That's kind of, people are DMing me, Jake, are you a reality star now? No. Are you going pro?
Wow.
Are you going pro in hockey? Maybe. I don't know.
You're kind of a reality star.
So, kind of hockey pro. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk baseball and catch up around the league. Did a little digging this morning, and it's funny seeing how these divisions are really developing. And me and Beebs went over this on Wake and Jake this morning. 6 weeks in a day from the trade deadline. So your team has another month or so to put themselves in or out of trade contention. Are you having injuries? What do you want to address? What are you going to address? Are young guys getting called up? Oh, Nelly. James?
The Twins already made a trade.
Look at that.
Yep.
They
Daniel
traded
Robertson.
Daniel Robertson to the Phillies.
How about it? D-Rob.
Nice guy.
For cash considerations.
Yeah. Versatile guy.
Cash considerations or D-Rob?
Both are pretty versatile.
Cash is
James,
more
I
versatile.
watched American Sniper on the way back home last night.
Yeah.
You with those glasses on, you could be a SEAL.
And the mustache popping.
Yeah, I think you'd be more like not in the field.
I'd be the guy that
yes.
gives them their directions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe back in the day you were in the field. Now you've earned your spot at the post.
Yeah. And I'd be like, I
You'd-
heard there's 7 clicks that way. That's what I'd say with a bottle of whiskey in my hand.
And you only eat one thing. Like you don't divert from your meal. You just have like a meal that you eat.
And I lost my wife.
You had one day out in the field, and the rest of the battalion died.
Haunting day. Yes. Yes, it was a haunting day.
But you made it back.
Yeah.
And you're only employed as a reminder to those people.
Yeah. And my bottom lip is always curled in like
This story sucks now. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we were all seeing it, though.
Do you know dinosaur T-Rexes can't run, Trev?
Jay, can you just tell us about the National League?
I will, but Jim, first I must tell you about what's going on in my downstairs region with Manscaped. You boys know we had a big tournament this weekend, so you know I was coming in styling and profiling.
Yeah.
And I only
you
do
look
that.
silky.
I only do that with Manscaped. I only do that with Manscaped. That's true. I mean, since we partnered with them 2 or 3 years, I've only been a Manscaped guy. Yeah, they kind of got me hooked. Wore their boxers during the tournament.
Same.
One day.
Same.
One day. BBD raised his hand as well. And they are now offering, the Platinum Package 4.0, a.k.a. the BBD. Manscaped, they're giving you 20% off and free shipping with code TALKIN at manscaped.com. Are you getting the Lawnmower 4.0? You know you are. Are you getting the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer? Gotta have it.
Need it.
Ultra Premium Body Wash and the Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. Yep. Little deodorant. I told anyone that would listen to me this weekend that I'm open to a new deodorant. I haven't tried the Manscaped one. I'm going to have to get this. That might be my play. Wow. Nikki Cass knew what deodorant I was wearing. Found that suspicious. Ball spray
big
toner.
Fragrance guy.
He's a big fragrance. That's a young man's game. You know that. Crop Reviver ball spray toner, anti-chafing boxers that we all wore, and the travel bag that I keep my routine daily stuff in, and Jess gets so mad at me, but I like the bag. And I'm naturally lazy. Trev.
So, like,
Okay.
Manscaped, love everything about it. But, like, you don't have to trim downstairs if you don't want to. I think it's almost acceptable both ways. But one thing that's, like, just across the board you got to do is, like, the nose hair.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes long nose hair. Like, that's not a debate. So, like, at least pick one of those up and get that nasty nose hair that's hanging out. I have to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's brutal, bro.
Roman nose.
And that's why they've expanded to beyond your private parts. Your not so private parts, they've got you to.
Exactly.
Get 20% off and free shipping with code Talkin at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping with code Talkin at manscaped.com. Take care of your downstairs, your upstairs, everything in between.
All right. Hey, I know a lot about the 3 series in the IL.
Yeesh.
I don't know anything about the NL. I need to find out.
I got you the AL too.
Okay. Appreciate that. I need to know what happened, Jake.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me?
I'll do my best.
Here we go.
Boys, I have good news. We're normally coastal elitists. I'm starting off in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world, Cincinnati. They hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Brewers sweep. The Brewers needed this in a bad way, and they sweep the Reds. Keston Hiura with a big go-ahead homer in the first game. Renfroe, have yourself a series. 3 home runs from country strong Hunter Renfroe. Whitley Adames had a couple homers. Brewers, some of the bigger news coming out of this. They DFA Lorenzo Cain. It was mutual. His stats were, whoa. So best of luck, Lorenzo. Woodruff had a rehab start and shoved. He's might be back soon. Colton Wong suffered a setback, so he might not be back as soon. Brewers, they need to get back to their winning ways, and they do it in a big way with the sweep. We love that for Milwaukee. This one, the Padres get swept by Kelsey Wingert's Rockies. The Rockies sweep in Colorado. Padres, I normally have something good to say about you every episode. This is tough because not only does their starting pitching get hit, and it's in Coors, and hey, you know, sometimes funny stuff happens there. Manny Machado goes down. Ankle injury, will miss several weeks. He's been an MVP candidate for them. Scary stuff. Middle game, McMahon with the big go-ahead home run. Man, circle this one. We might have to talk about the fathers. Chris Bryant hoping to start a rehab assignment. Go Rocks, go. Phillies. They take 4 out of 5 from the Nationals. The Philadelphia Phillies. Gibby told us they were going to get going. They're fully going. They are 15-3 in the month of June after they take these 4 out of 5 from the Nats. The Nats take Game 5. Good for you, kids. And on a high note, happy flight, happy life, they say. Soto with the homer. Jackson Tetrol. Not in my book, but how about 7 innings pitched, 3 unearned for the first career win in his second start. Happy for you, kid. Phillies. How about it? The Mets have taken 2 out of 3 from the Florida Fish. They're playing Game 4 today, a little wraparound series. Miggy Rojas came to the studio, him and Chris Rose. Rumor they were making out on the couch or something. I don't know. Tweet about it. Mets, they won the first 2 games of the series, 10-4 copy. And they won the second game. Marlins won on Alcantara Day, 6-2. We'll see if they can split it or if the Mets will take 3 out of 4 today. Your boy Gerard Encarnacion with a grand slam for the first career hit in the 7th inning of his debut. Happy for you, kid. Jazz got tossed in the second game. Lindor's hitting monster ding-dongs. Talk about that. Uh-oh, Minnie, what is you doing, baby? The Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. They take Game 1, Keegan Thompson with 6 shutout, and a couple bullpen arms that could be traded. How about D-Rob, Michael Givens, and Chris Martin for the Cubbies to combine for the shutout there? The Braves take the final game. Darno goes. Ion Anderson with 6.2 shutty. Uh-oh, haven't talked about him a lot. A mini Braves, what is you doing, baby? These are also their only 2 losses in June. The Braves are 15-2 in June, so we'll shrug and move on for now. The Giants take 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh. The Pirates, they're staring down the barrel of a 3-game sweep, and Jack Sowinski says, not on my watch. How about the walk-off homer to make it his 3rd homer of the day? All right, Jack Sowinski. I'm stepping in with your shitting out. Whoa! And the Pirates are calling up O'Neal Cruz. With all that being said, Rodon dropped it in the first game. Brandon Crawford with the game-tying RBI in the second one as Yaz win it. Giants take 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh.
Ba-dum, bow, bow. Great job, Jake.
Thank you.
Giants and Pittsburgh. There's some surprising stuff here, man. There's some cool standings, like just to let you know, the NL Central tied.
Yeah.
Brewers and Cardinals both have 38 wins and 30 losses. That's fun. Good job by the Brewers, who lost the lead, and they get right back into it. Same thing in the West. L.A., the Dodgers had lost the league to the Padres. Now, the Dodgers only won, I won't tell you, NL hasn't happened yet, so just like, butt out.
Yeah.
It's the 3rd act of the show. But the Padres get swept, so they're back down to 2nd place. Half game back, basically tied. And in the NL, the Braves actually lose a game. They were 4.5 back. They're now 5.5 back to the Mets. And Phillies gain half a game. They're 8.5 back. Now they're 8 back. But that division, at least the momentum of that division, is starting to look pretty fun. It looks like the Phillies might be able to weasel their way into a situation where we think about them a little more, and then they might fade completely, but I still think they're on a trajectory to get more in the conversation. I'm not guessing that will happen, Trev. I'm saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying they're a lock to battle for the division, but I think they're going to get closer, and then we'll see what happens, because the Mets might just pull away once they get healthy. They got supposedly Scherzer coming back soon, and some other stuff.
Why don't we just start with the Phillies then? I mean, what was it? 4 out of 5 from the Nationals. Rob Thompson's taking pictures in front of the plane with the team with this hat on. Like he had an F-boy hat on.
Oh, wow.
Or was that like a gangster hat? Did you guys see it? It's kind of like a bowler kind of meets like the new age hats that all the fancy guys wear.
I saw in the Phillies subreddit them being excited a little bit just about how much Topper's mixing it up and laughing and being chummy with the guys. That's definitely different than Girardi's vibe. He doesn't.
We talked about that earlier. Dan Rourke was like, well, isn't he just like a clone of Girardi? He's been with them for so long. And I was like, no, he's more cheery and like happy-go-lucky and fun. And then Dan asked me, do you think he's leaning into that a little bit because he wants to be so different than Girardi? And I said, maybe. I don't know. But that's kind of his personality. He likes to have fun. And look, I don't know if I need to admit that I'm wrong or like admit that I'm right here, because they're obviously just hitting the ball and that was going to happen. Like they're just hitting happens in streaks sometimes, especially with this team. Or was it like a spark that Thompson provided? I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. The way they're playing now is good baseball, and it's keeping them in the discussion, not only for the wild card, obviously, but now we're even mentioning them in the division with the Mets. It's good times in Philly right now.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. End of the day, the Nationals are one of the worst teams in baseball this year. They take 4 out of 5, which, hey, still good in Washington. A couple of those were extra inning games, so it could go another way. But when things are going well, it feels like things are going well. And, yeah, I mean, hindsight being 2020, they swept the Angels right when they were in the midst of one of the worst losing streaks we're going to see this season, and they ended up firing their manager. They swept Milwaukee, who, they were just in a pretty bad funkaroo. But, hey, Milwaukee's a good baseball team. You got to give some credit there. And then they won series against Arizona, Miami, and now Washington. So
coin goes both ways. You can also say they beat teams that were having good seasons and put them in a funk.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they were kind of funking a little before that for both. But, hey, they're taking care of their business. Like you said, Rob Thompson, we were kind of tough on that because he was Girardi's right-hand man. And, hey, maybe it was the little spark they needed in sports. Maybe they ran into a part of their schedule at the right time. Maybe their guys hitting and pitching and playing defense, or Phillies' version of defense, has been enough. So they're back in it, and you're right. That 8 games back, you wonder if they're ever going to get in contention with the Mets at some point this season. It feels like the Braves will, just knowing their franchise's history. But, yeah, I know it's a little early for wild card. Phillies are, I think they're 2.5 games out of the wild card at this point. But, this little heater, this 15-3 month of June has brought them back into the conversation, which, there's still a few teams that we're going to talk about later in this episode that kind of don't deserve the conversation, and the Phillies do, so good for them.
Yeah, I think there's 4 games left with the Mets because they already played them 12 times. So that's not great for them. They're 3-9 so far against the Mets.
Yeah,
they're playing better ball now. I'm sure they'd want some of those head-to-head matchups, but I believe only 4 games left against them.
Wheeler's having a really good year. He had a rough first 3 starts. I think since then he's got a 1-something ERA. He's going 6 innings plus every game. So, and then Nola goes 8 innings. It's the Nats, and that's of note. But Wheeler's having a good season. I don't think people have been talking about that. He's putting together, I think 9 starts in a row now of really good pitching. So, good job, Zach.
Yes, he is. Oh, his overall numbers are great.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, I feel like at least in our world, or I'm sure Phillies fans aren't not under the radar for them, obviously, but I haven't seen it mentioned that much. He had a 7 earned in April, and since then he's been pretty nasty.
I'm looking at old Ranger Suarez to see what's going on with him, if he gets it going and can be kind of used in the playoffs in some sort of hybrid role. That'd be a big boost to them. But I'm liking the Phillies. I never got off of them. They just have to kind of lean into their game, which is banging the ball around a little bit and then getting some starting pitching and figure it out with the bullpen.
Zach Wheeler in his 55 starts with the Phillies the last 3 years, 2.79 ERA. He that contract at the time was kind of Zach Wheeler. Let's see. He is. It's looking like a beauty of a contract.
Ranger Suarez is an interesting one, Trev, because he's actually getting lit up early. Yeah. His first 20 pitches are his worst results, and then when he gets past that, he settles in. But that's not really the recipe for a guy that might become a swing man down the stretch. You would rather him be great in his first 30 pitches. Not, in his first 25 pitches, he has a 924 OPS against with a 529 slugging, 324 batting average. So it's a little bit the opposite of what you'd want out of the swingman. So I don't know.
Yeah, and his walks per 9 are up and his strikeouts per 9 are down. So
yeah,
just get on the freaking cameras and do a little bit of this, whatever you need to do, bro. That's all you have to do. Pitchers got it so easy.
So easy.
So easy.
Hitting's the hardest thing to do in sports. Then what's that make pitching?
That should be Josh Donaldson's Twitter bio. It's such a good quote.
Yeah.
What a pest.
It's so good because then they can't talk shit. It's I'm an MVP. So
yeah, no, it's a really good quote. Good job, Josh Donaldson as well. Wow, how about that? Okay, where do you want to go now, Jake?
Well, you guys teed it up in Philly. We might as well stay in the East Coast. Maybe we'll go Mets as they're wrapping up their series. Some cool stuff with Lindor and his mama. We love that. Mets continue to their winning ways. It feels tough when they're finishing a 4-game set today, and if the Fish win, you split 4. If you win, you're 3 out of 4. And you're
I
the
hate
Mets.
wraparound series.
Yeah, it puts us in a real vice.
Someone's going to yell at us in the comments, no doubt.
The game you lose is Alcantara, and a kid hits a grand slam. Otherwise, if you're the Mets, I don't know. The pulse still seems fine in Metsland. You just took on 2 great runs from the Phillies and the Braves. Braves are 15-2 this month. Phillies are 15-3. You're still sitting pretty while Max Scherzer is lined up to make a rehab start. So I think things
that happened fast. What I thought he was going to be out for much longer.
It's Max Scherzer, man. He's ahead of schedule always.
Tries to
go home. Wife kicks him out of the house.
He's a fast healer, bro.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Everybody's different.
Unlike Tatis, huh? Oh man, that slow healer. Fuck the Padres.
But that's why teams don't want to give timelines.
Padres fans, I don't hate you. I don't hate you, Padres fans. I don't hate the Padres.
They get swept by the Rockies, and now you hate them.
I'm mad at their training staff for trying to blame a guy. Say he's a slow healer. It's ridiculous.
I don't think they said slow. They called him.
You know what? Everyone's just watching their own ass these days. It's ridiculous.
They said
he's
healing slow.
They said the bone hadn't healed like they expected.
What was the actual quote? It was like it hasn't.
I think Jake had it.
Because you expect when you check on an injury in 6 weeks,
expected.
it should look like blank, and it didn't look like blank. Dr. Jake here.
Thank you, Jake.
Let me know if you guys need any diagnoses.
I think in the past, I remember a story where they did call him a slow healer. That's not what happened last week, but
what does he got to do? He's got to drink some milk. He's got to put his feet on the grass. I've heard that's a thing. Grounding. Unfortunately for me, I'm putting artificial turf in my backyard, so I'm screwed there.
Yeah, you're going through with it.
What am I going to do?
It's less work. That'll be easier on you. It'll be good.
Slow healer for the rest of my life. We were on the Mets.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their baseball reference page, team page. You click on OPS Plus to get it all nice and pretty. They have 9 people there in the team batting section. 8 of them have an OPS Plus over 100. The other one's 93. You don't see that.
3 categories.
You don't see that.
3 categories that are pretty good to be first in: batting average, on base percentage, and runs. New York Mets are 1 in all those.
Not bad.
That's good.
Taijuan Walker, Carlos Carrasco, and Chris Bassett all pitch into the 7th inning. No one allows more than 3 earned runs, so those are winning efforts every game, basically, out of the starting pitchers, and gives the bullpen not that much work to do. 2+ innings of work, so that's kind of a good formula.
Do you know Tommy Hunter's on the squad, Trev, your boy?
I did see they got signed. Did he's got brought up?
Threw 22 pitches yesterday.
Tommy Hunter. He's a
big body.
He's an interesting guy.
Big
body. Boy.
Yeah.
Big presence. A lot of fun.
Who gets bounced from the rotation? Peterson when Scherzer comes back?
Or Trevor Williams, yeah.
Are they using the 6-man or are they just...
I have 5 right now: Carrasco, Walker, Bassett, Peterson, Williams.
You don't have Tyler.
Oh, he got hurt, Jim.
He got hurt?
Yeah.
Ree got hurt.
Ree got hurt?
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
15-day IL, shut down for 4 weeks.
15?
I think I
think pitchers can't do 10 days anymore.
So the 15 exists only for pitchers and the 10-day exists for position players? Or is there no 10-day at all?
I believe
anymore?
that's what they did this year.
It's just the COVID 10-day.
I believe position players can still do 10 days.
Okay.
15-day for pitchers.
Different rules for pitchers all the time. I don't
pitchers.
know, man.
Well, that's actually kind of good. They
wanted to stop the funny business.
That's too much funny business with
Getting
young
abused.
relievers and young starters. That's a good rule. Who are you rooting for in Game 4 today?
I mean, Miggy Rojas came to the office, so if he
FaceTimed
if
him.
he could find a way to win it, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I lean that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, Mets fans, sound off on me.
Yeah.
How about the Cubs winning? They're not supposed to win. The Braves are supposed to win.
And that wraps up the East with the Braves and the Cubbies. Yeah, I meant to send Moilo a text. Text Peter. You love texting Peter. Ask him what happened this weekend. That I think you run into that first game being a weird one. You've won 14th straight. Cubs had lost 10 in a row, and you're in a 0-0 game. Cubbies get a sac fly. They win 1-0. D-Rob continues his nice year. He gets the save in that game. Both streaks lose. Cubs are feeling great. You just ended your losing streak. Let's get hot. Braves, our streak's over. They're all sad, so you lose the next day.
Braves versus Cubs is probably like a historic a North American matchup.
Tradition.
Aesthetically pleasing. I like it.
I wonder the stats on that, how many Braves have successfully hunted down Cubs. Or would you think it was off limits to hunt down a Cub? You had to go for like the mama bear if you were a Brave. There was a lot of honor in the
I don't know
natives.
how many rules existed yet.
Maybe just hunt the whole dang family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
they're all together. Might as well.
Slaughtering the family.
It's kind of America.
Throwing the dynamite in the cave. Those Braves.
Thinking of you guys bringing up family. The Contreras brothers face off for the first time. We like that.
Like that. Yeah, we do like that.
Hey, I think he was on Slump Watch, so maybe we'll get to that. We'll wait on that. Wait on it.
Charlie Morton with the good start for the Braves. He has not had a great start to the year. Hopefully this is kind of like a thing that gets him going a little bit. He's 38 years old and 220 days.
Yeah.
You kind of always wonder what he's got left in the tank because he's been getting some Ernies. His Baseball Reference game log, not great.
I texted Peter Moylan.
Okay.
I said, in 10 words or less, why did the Braves lose a series to the Cubs? He responded, because it's hard to win every day. Now, he could have included the is because it is hard to win every day. I gave him 10. He chose to keep it at just 6 words.
Maybe he's waiting to follow up with like 4 more.
Well, I said, thank you. He said, anytime, my friend. So maybe that is.
Are those the 4?
Anytime's 1 word, so that's 9 words. So he still could have fit the is in there.
Yeah. Character limit, though. Maybe he was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Morton hadn't pitched into the 6th inning one time through his first 10 starts. He pitched into the 6th inning, and the last 2 starts, he went 6 and 7, although he got 4 runs on June 11th, but this time 7 shutty. Braves would like that if Morton got going.
I'm going to go with Charlie Morton's kind of doing an old school Roger Clemens while being on the team. He's just
ramping it up.
His season starts in mid-June. I think that's what I'm going to figure for Charlie.
Who started for the Cubs in this series?
Thompson. He had 6 shutout in the first game.
That's great. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, he's having a nice little year, and then
solely because he has a baby face.
Okay.
That's
Steele's having a really good year too, isn't he?
Steele pitched the second game.
Let's see. Maybe
and Hendricks got lit up.
Yeah, Hendricks got lit up. So,
Justin Carl Steele. Yeah, he's having a good. Yeah, he's got a couple blunders here. Like he's got one that's really doing him in, and he's got a bunch of appearances where he just didn't get the distance. But I
think just lately he's been doing good, and that's why I've just noticed. The last 3 times he's been out, good starts. So he's on my radar.
Yeah. Good for the Cubs.
Yeah, at a certain point you have to stop losing, just to get in your feels a little better. But, yeah, trade Contreras, trade all those bullpen guys. Let's have some fun at the deadline.
Ion with a good start.
We've been waiting for that, too. And Ion's kind of like Charlie's little brother.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. They're both Northeast guys.
We don't talk enough about Roger Clemens like not traveling with the team when he was in Houston. Like has it ever happened ever again in baseball or before that? Like,
I think
talk about own program. That motherfucker was like,
yeah, but I think there's other people that have been rumored to do that.
I'm surprised it's not more of a thing.
I think it happens with some guys, but I think that was like public, and it was almost
like he never.
It was
went
almost
off.
like the PR tried to make it a respected thing.
I thought it was Roger Clemens just being like, if you want me, this is how you're going to get me type thing.
Well, he didn't do it when he came to the Yankees, when he signed back with the Yankees. They were like, no way.
Yankees, man. I like that.
But then there's another Yankee. There's another Yankee.
There's
another Yankee I think I've heard that did do that when he was with them. So I don't know.
Pettit?
No. Pettit, no. Schmarad.
Nice pickoff.
Good pickoff.
Yeah. Did we get, what do we got? Giants and Pirates?
Oh, we got a couple. I mean, the Brewers joined sweep week. We did the East. Brewers joined sweep week, although it wasn't a sweep week. They really needed this, man. The Brewers were struggling. Renfroe with a big series. Jason Alexander's getting some pitching for Milwaukee, and it makes me laugh every time because that's the name of George from Seinfeld. Or you probably know him better from Shallow Hal. Graham Ashcraft, Jim, this is going to be the bummer for you. I didn't want to have to tell you this, but first career loss. 5 innings pitched, 6 earned runs.
It's just making sure he doesn't get too uppity.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't demand a trade.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what baseball. Trev, you mentioned that one side of this spectrum with Roger Clemens tooting his own horn. Let's get I want Graham Ashcraft being like, I want out. I don't like this.
Well, Andujar demanded a trade from the Yankees, so we already had one of those.
Yeah, Yankees are demanding one too.
Yeah.
That does not happen in baseball. That does not happen in baseball. Because there's a minor leagues to banish you to. That's why.
Yep.
People are like, please, I'll do anything.
Keep me up here.
Yep. Brew Crew needed this because, Cardinals are coming. Cardinals are a very complete roster. Brewers do not feel that way right now. Although I do love the good news on Woodruff.
Yeah.
Because he had the finger thing, Raynaud's syndrome, whatever they call it. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he struck out 7 of the 8 batters he retired, so that's a good sign.
Yeah,
he's feeling the baseball.
We're in prime tough time to be a minor leaguer season when you got Woodruff rehab and Scherzer. That's just tough.
He goes by
Cron will be doing it to the Palm Beach Cardinals soon, like he always does.
He goes by Jay Alexander, if that helps you out.
It does. You have to. Brewers, I'm a big month of June guy now. Brewers were 3-11 in the month of June coming into this series. They get the sweep. That makes them 6-11.
6-11. Math. Let's wrap this up. We got to get to the AL.
I'll wrap it up with your Giants. Quintana, whoa. Go look at what he's been up to.
I will.
He drops it again. 8 shutty, 8 Ks. Trev mentioned him an ep or two ago, how like the velo ticks up on days for him. I think he was 13 starts, like a 2.28, something like that.
3.6
ERA?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about the same Rodon?
No.
Okay, because 2.84.
I thought you said Quintana. Go check out his stats.
I thought I said
You did say
Rodon.
Quintana.
You said Quintana.
I meant Rodon. Both lefties.
They're lefties.
Yeah, they're both lefties. Trev, you got it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to see Quintana's stats, though, because
Not
he'll
bad.
be traded.
He'll be traded for. That's why I was like, oh, he got even better.
6 weeks out.
Yeah.
No, he had a 5.13 in this. No, Rodon. Excuse me. 8 innings, shutty. Luis Gonzalez keeps hitting for the Giants. That's kind of fun. That name always gets me a little nostalgic. Being a big Snakes fan, definitely doesn't hurt. My Yankees fan. I'm only wearing the shirt because they're the best team in baseball right now, so I want to show respect.
You're a front runner.
And then, how about Sunday? Giants going for the sweep. Tyro the Bullet Estrada, my guy, hits a game-tying homer, and Jack Sawinski says, GFY, dude. I'll hit my 3rd homer of the day and walk it off. And Jack Sawinski, that's a Pittsburgh guy. He'll hit you 3 homers. He'll sell you a used car. Thanks for
He's
coming.
from Chicago. He's a Midwest guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's Polish, so he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
6'2", 215
You're Polish.
out of Taft High School.
Your name ends in ski. You're from Chicago or New Britain, Connecticut. Just to
Hard hitting.
Just to let everyone know.
new.
Jake and I lived literally in Little Poland for a couple months in New Britain, Connecticut.
Little Poland.
Second biggest Polish population in the U.S., New Britain, Connecticut. We would go to a deli.
My first ever girlfriend was Polish.
What was her name?
Zanetta.
Zanetta Whatski.
I don't know.
Don't say it anyway.
You can't say it.
I don't remember her last name.
Wow.
I'm a quarter Polish.
Love blinds you.
It's kind of my...
That's your dumb side?
Okay.
That's all. That's
Now the Polish are mad at you? The Polish and the Padres?
I was trying to figure out what you were saying.
Those
that
Polish
was really
people
smart.
in San
Very smart.
Diego are pissed at you right now. One.
There's not a lot of Polish in San Diego. No.
Too much sun.
Yeah, exactly. They need cold, harsh weather.
Yeah, they want unenjoyable weather. O'Neal Cruz is coming up for the Pirates. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Let's see that dude play.
Trev, can you tell us about the AL?
I can.
All right, let's do it.
Let me get my timer set up here.
All right, hold on.
It's like we're going to start in Toronto where the Yankees were going to sweep the Blue Jays until Jake tweeted something out yesterday on Father's Day to jinx them. But they take 2 out of 3, 12-3 Yankees, 4-0 Yankees before they coughed up a big lead and lost 10-9. First game, Monty did it for him. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. That's 13 starts this year, allowing 3 runs or fewer. Go, Monty, go. Rizzo leaned back on a grand slam in that game. Game 2, Tyone does it. 5 2/3 shutout innings. Goes up against Manoah, who allows 4 earnings. Not a typical start for that guy. Clay Holmes throws a scoreless ninth. It's his 29th straight scoreless appearance to set the Yankees record. Mariano Rivera had it. Whoops. Is that good? My goodness. Some other stuff happened there. Hicks, go ahead, 3-run double. Attaboy. And then in game 3, Yankees open up, big lead. Blue Jays came back. They were down 8-3. They won it. Gurriel Jr. grand slam in the 6th, made it 8-7. That was not Gurriel Jr., was it? Or was it? I don't know. Anyway, somebody hit a grand slam in the 6th, made it 8-7. They ended up coming back all the way, winning 10-9. Yankees take 2 out of 3. A lot of stuff to talk about in this series. Can't wait to chop it up with you boys. Moving on to Houston, the Astros take 2 or 3 from the White Sox because the Astros are incredible. 13-3, 7-0 White Sox game 2, and then 4-3 Astros game 3. Game 1, Valdez goes 6 innings pitched with 3 earned runs, but Giolito, 8 earnies, his second most earned runs in a start ever. The Astros scored 10 in the 6th in that one. Game 2, all Cueto, 7 shutout innings with only 2 hits. He best Verlander in that one. Robert La Pantera has a great game there. And then in game 3, Matajevic hits his first career home run in the 4th. Dubon, 2-run home run in the 5th. They win that one 4-3. Astros take 2 of 3 from the Sox. Let's go, Sox. Figure it out. Moving on to Baltimore. Tampa Bay Rays go in and they lose 2 out of 3. Go Orioles.
What?
Go. Let's go Birds. 1-0 Orioles, 7-6 Rays, then 2-1 Orioles in the 3rd game. Kramer, 6 shutout innings, his first career scoreless start. Best Shane Baz, although he also had 6 shutout innings. Rushman, go-ahead RBI in the 7th. He also threw somebody out. He's a thick boy. I'm all in on this guy. The 2nd game, a lot of good defense in this game. The Orioles came back from 6-2 to tie it in the 6th. But the Rays ended up doing it on a Harold Ramirez go-ahead sac fly in the 9th. So got that one. 2-1 game for the rubber match there. Santander, solo homer in the 1st. Mullins, RBI double in the 3rd. A lot of good defense. Odor playing solid D in this one. Orioles take 2 or 3 from the Rays. Moving on, a big series out in Seattle. The Angels go up there. They take 4 out of 5 games. This one was all Mike Trout. We'll dive into it. 8 homers were hit in this game, in this series, 5 of them by Mike Trout. 4 go-ahead or game-winning home runs. That's the most in MLB history in a series. Mike Trout is doing Mike Trout things. 4-1 Angels, 8-1 Mariners. Then it was 4-2 Angels, 3-0 Angels, 4-0 Angels. Not a lot of offense, obviously, out of the Mariners. Although J.P. Crawford had some good things. Like I said, we'll dive into this one. Angels take 4 out of 5. Going down or up to Detroit. I think it's up, whatever. Rangers at Tigers. This one was a split. We don't like it. 4-game set, 2-2, 3-1 Rangers, 7-0 Rangers before the Tigers took the next 2 games, 14-7 and then 7-3. Martin Perez still doing his thing. 7 innings pitched, 1 run. Please trade him or sign him. Ezekiel Duran had the go-ahead 3-run triple with 2 outs in the 9th off of Soto. Alenia down the first base line. A lot of other stuff happened in that one. I'm running out of time. We'll talk about it more in depth there. And then the last series in the AL was Royals at the A's. And the Royals took 2 out of 3. 5-1 Royals, 2-0 Royals before the Athletics won the last game 4-0. We'll dive into it. That, my friends, is what happened in the American League.
Hell yeah. I heard one result that I was not aware of, and I got lost in it and didn't listen to a lot of the rest, but I think you crushed it. And I have questions and I have comments. But first and foremost, I'll let you know how the standings were affected. The Yankees gained a game on Toronto, and they gained a game on the Rays. They are now 11 games up in the AL East. Minnesota was 2 games up. They are now 1 game up. Cleveland jumps them, but we're not talking about them. That's the IL. The White Sox, they stay 5 games back with their result. And in the West, Houston is up 9.5 games. But LAA, the Angels, they jump up to second place. They are now 9.5 games back. And the Rangers drop to 3rd in the close division that is the AL West.
Love it. Where you guys want to start? You want to go Cron Pod here? Start with the Yanks?
Bring me wherever you want to go.
Yeah, wherever you want to go. Trev, you drive us.
I like Cron Pods. We'll start with the Yanks up there. First game was just a bludgeoning. Monty does his thing, 12-3 Yankees. Everyone hits home runs. 8 runs in 1 inning. There was the Rizzo grand slam, the Stanton and LeMahieu homer. I have the Stanton homer marked as like another one that like only him and Judge can do.
Yeah, it's a weird
like
one.
Curveball way away and just like pops it up to right field, but he's so fucking strong that it's just a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody else can do that. Maybe Ohtani. I've seen Ohtani flip the ball out to left field.
That.
Yeah. Catcher did a glove fake on it. High fastball. It was a slider away. Stanton didn't give a shit.
That's it. Well, I don't think Stanton can see the glove.
I don't think a lot of people see the glove fake, but catchers do them all the time.
I think it's for like the dugout. If there was a runner on base, I don't know if there was. I don't
No,
know.
it's to think the batters, or if there's a runner on base, telling the batter or something. But
I think it's for the dugout.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've asked catchers about it, and like I talked to Tucker when he was doing it against the Yankees, and he
You were
said,
saying he was getting the batter's eye, like in the peripheral, like
if someone to relay it to the batter or the batter's
Oh, yeah,
peripherals to make them think it's a high fastball.
yeah, didn't fool him.
Didn't fool.
So game one was just sorry about it. 4-0 Yanks. Game 2, Tyone doing his thing, and that was the big Hicks go ahead double, 3-1 pitch by Manoah.
Yeah,
but 92 miles an hour. Kind of felt like a get me over fastball there, and that's not usually what he throws there. It was Hicks' first extra base hit since like Moby Dick was a minnow, like a long time. So
yeah,
cool.
Hicks' first time coming through with the go-ahead or tying run on base. He was 0 for 17 in those situations.
Feels great for Hicks.
Yeah, and he had a hit game 3 as well. So good for Hicks because he needs to start. He's on a better projection now. He's got a really bad month of May. April and June are good, but the runners in scoring position has been kind of bad all season. The big thing is that they got to Manoah. Like, that's the one takeaway here, is that the Yankees got to him. Because last week they got to McClanahan on the Rays, and everyone's been trying to discredit the Yankees, saying they've only beaten bad teams, bad pitchers. So for them to get the win against McClanahan and then 3 or 4 days later get the win against Manoah, those are like kind of little notches. They're having a great season, but those are the little notches you want to put on the belt or on the journey to the postseason, and then you can like hang your hat on those. And then the Blue Jays with a really good comeback, game 3.
That was after who was it? Higgy and
Marwin.
Who else homered?
Marwin
homered. People were feeling it in the streets. Jake's tweeting stuff out about it. And then I'm sorry, Gurriel Jr. did hit it. I was thinking Guerrero Jr. for some reason right there. I was like, that definitely wasn't him.
A lot of juniors over there.
Yeah, a lot of juniors over there. This was after like the Donaldson thing, which is also a story. Like gets hit the first at bat, then he pimps the 3-run homer or the homer in the third. Excuse me. That was cool.
Yeah, and for Yankees fans, I think it was a really good comeback, and you want your pitchers to pitch really well, but the A bullpen was available and very much being saved for the Rays series, so they went to Castro in that situation, and then they went to Wandy when they have King and Holmes available and not overused. So I'm not trying to discredit the Blue Jays. It was really good at bats, but as Yankee fans, you're like, well, I think there's a better effort there if we're not saving King and Holmes and our top guys.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to bring him in. They were beating him by 5 runs. Didn't want to bring him in. I get.
But
that.
once all those runners get on base, you bring Castro in.
Tell me about this. I don't know if you guys saw it live. I was watching on Gamecast when this was going down. It was Judge up with 2 runners on there in the top of the 8th. Romano, I think it was 4 pitches, 4 fastballs. Did you just blow it by him, or like what was going on there?
I think he might have started first pitch slider, but yeah, he leaned heavy fastball. They faced off.
You're right.
They faced off earlier this year, and Judge had hit the walk-off homer off Romano. That was the borderline second deck Trevor Plouffe job at the stadium. Judge hitting the gritty around it. So, yeah, I think he was. I'd ask you a lot more than I'd ask anyone in here how much pitchers keep that in their memory, and did Romano go first pitch slider to show him he'd throw it and it was off the plate and then he was going fastballs the rest of the way because he hadn't been beat on that? I don't know. I mean, as a Yankee fan, you got Judge in a spot like that. You're feeling pretty good about it. And even the next inning, they go around again and they get dudes on base, which that was the most important thing to me. If you go through the Yankees' 17 losses this year, which is still a ridiculous number, they're in pretty much every one. Like I'd say 10 of those 17, the game-tying, game-leading run is on base in the 8th and 9th inning. So this team's got crazy fight to them. They peacock in the best way possible. Like they look at each other like we are more talented than you, but also we're not necessarily going to sleep through a game. And Yankee fans are spoiled, and often I would. Giving up a 5-run lead, that's not the speech I'd be given the next day. But like Jimmy said, they left some of their A-pen rest, getting ready for the next series, and they're playing 20 games in 20 days, and you already won a road series in Toronto. So, yeah, you don't want to blow that game, but I think towards the end it meant more to Toronto, and good on them for coming back.
So you could talk about this in another light, like awesome for Toronto to not get swept, to come back from a 5-run deficit and do that. What kind of momentum does that bring them? But they've already played each other a zillion times. We were talking about that earlier today on Baseball Today. Like Chris was asking me if anybody's going to catch the Yankees in the division. I was like, well, I think Toronto has the best chance, but they've already played them 12 times, I think. So like head-to-head matchups just aren't there for them to go ahead and catch the Yankees. They're going to rely on somebody else to do it.
Romano to Judge, the last pitch was 98 up high out of the zone. Yeah. Judge chased because the pitch before he thought was inside, but was a called strike. I think it was a good pitch.
Inside on the corner. I was watching Gamecast. Can't tell.
He got the 1-0. He fouled it back.
Fouled it back.
It was a juicy pitch, and it was that was the one. That was the one that he probably.
That was like right down the middle.
Yeah. Because he didn't have his slider. So he threw one slider to DJ. It wasn't there, so he went fastball. I think he found the slider in the 9th inning, actually. But those right out of the pen, he didn't have it.
Let's go to Houston. Astros take 2 or 3 from the White Sox. First game was just a big inning for the Astros. In the 6th inning, it was 3-3. They scored 10. Brantley had the grand slam, and this is cool. Kyle Tucker and Jordan in that inning. They each had 2 hits, and they both hit a home run. Like, that's fun. That's the stuff we're talking about. So just a big inning for the Astros game 1. They look good. Giolito gives up some earnings, but it was kind of like he was in the middle of the plate. Then I think it was Zach Thompson gave up a lot of his inherited runners. Just some bombs there. And then White Sox, interesting. Game 2, get the start from Cueto. Like, what's up with that, bro? He's just one of those guys that's just like gonna figure it out and give you 7 shutty against the Astros at home? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, I love it. Johnny, it's so funny because there's this weird bad energy around the White Sox kind of this whole season. And Johnny Cueto's almost like I'm not a part of that. Like I joined the party late. Like you show up to a pregame and like 2 people just got into a fight and Cueto came like right after that. He's like, "Hey, I'm still here for a good time. I don't really care about that." In Houston, man, first in reliever ERA, third in starting pitching ERA, fourth in homers. Although a lot of their offensive numbers aren't where you fully expect Houston to be.
The Astros?
Yeah.
I think they're not. I'm trying to find it now because I read this the other day. Like in this series, they got 7 home runs from 7 different bats.
Right.
And I feel, I don't want to say this if I'm wrong. I think I read something that they're actually not doing well in runners in scoring positions, lost solo shots, and their run differential hasn't really been that great this year. But I guess I was trying to find the tweet or the
That's
Reddit
scary
post
for teams then. If like they haven't hit with runners in scoring position yet, obviously it'll figure itself out. That's kind of scary for teams.
And they, the guys that you'd kind of expect, Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Jordan, Tucker, they've got some stats there. Yuli had a slow start. He's starting to go a little bit. Pena's been out. But yeah, their second half of their lineup looks not what you'd expect, and you wonder when you start talking trade deadline if they're a team that gets in the mix somewhere. But yeah, I mean they are. If the Yankees weren't doing what the Yankees were doing, we'd be talking about Houston a lot more.
I know injuries. Every team deals with injuries. We look at the White Sox. Our notes here have Anderson has been out. He's expected to return Monday. Moncada exits game 1. He sits games 2 and 3. Hendricks has been out. He'll begin a throwing program today. He'll be back for July 1st. And Eloy will have a chance to resume his rehab assignment tomorrow. It's like that's a lot of guys and a lot of key guys out for them. Still, I'm holding out hope for this White Sox team, but man, they're digging themselves a hole here.
I think they're going to Braves us. Like they're going to continue doing this, and then, at the deadline, maybe 2 small strategic moves, and like you said, that handful of guys all come back and they're healthy. And I think you look around the clubhouse and it's like, all right, guys, it's finally fucking go time. Like, let's go.
Yeah, the only thing is, they're most likely going to be bad because they've dug themselves in such a hole. The record is, whatever it is. They're under 500, I think, right?
Yeah.
They got to win the division. Like they're not going to get a wild card. So like, go ahead and win the division. That's the only way to make it out of the AL Central right now. And from the looks of it, is going to be a 3-team race. Probably one of the better races in baseball for the division. So White Sox are going to have to deal with that too, but they need to get healthy. Everyone needs to get healthy.
I wouldn't rule them out of a wild card necessarily.
Let's go Rays-Orioles. James, you were very surprised at this one. The Orioles take 2 out of 3. They're my birds. I'm an Adley Rutschman guy. Now that I've seen the thick neck, the thick legs, he throwing runners out. The Orioles actually played really good defense here. That was kind of the one takeaway as I'm sifting through the games. Rutschman gunned down a runner. Choi gets thrown out, trying to go for a double in game 1. Good D in the second game 2 I wrote down, and then Odor in game 3 threw a guy out of the plate. Then he makes a nice play coming in on a ball. So that's a nice way to win some games. You got your defense rocking and rolling there. Pitching kind of showed up. I keep seeing Brett Phillips strike out in big situations for the Rays. Rays fans, if you're in the chat, like let me know if that keeps happening or if I just notice it because of the double ear flaps, which could be the case.
This is a tough look. I wish it wasn't such a tough look. In the last 14 games, they have a +2 run differential, the Astros. For a team that is in first place by 9.5 games, it was something like that. Like I don't know. I don't even know if that's anything. At the beginning of the season, I said I wanted the Orioles. This might have been a Talkin' Yanks take. I said I wanted the Orioles to be the Yankees' punk friend. Like if the Yankees are the whale, I wanted the Orioles to be the sucker fish, on their back, kind of like, skirting away any fish that came by and scaring them. And we're getting just that. The Orioles against the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Blue Jays are 11-10. They have a winning record against those 3 teams. And it's just funny because we've been saying from when we first saw them, even though I think the Yankees beat them in the series, Jake and I came away saying that's a feisty team. Like they're not the way people talk about them. And now I think that's caught up with the rest of baseball. Like, because for a while, oh, you just got to play the Orioles. Oh, you just got to play the Orioles. Like, the Orioles are beating teams, like, a lot. But for the Rays, at this point, to go in there and lose, it's like, Rays, what are you doing? Are you going to turn it on?
They're all close games. You know, the 1-0 game that could go either way. Just a couple good pitching performances.
Well, I don't think the Orioles are going to blow your doors off, but they're feisty. That's the thing.
Yeah, they are feisty. They are feisty.
Oh, and it's
Chirinos doing it. Game 2, 4 ribbies, and he had a stolen base. You don't see that too often from a catcher.
I said it a lot. The top half of that Orioles lineup is a little pesky. They're getting some pitching performances. That's what's been missing in Baltimore for years now. So when you get that, you know, Tyler Wells is having a nice little year for them. Kremer gave them a good start in this one. And they have a back end of their bullpen. Jorge Lopez, Dylan Tate, Felix Bautista, Perez. Those are 4 guys with ERAs under 2 coming out of the Orioles bullpen to win them a game. That was part of their problem. Like, I can't tell you how many Yankees-Orioles games I've watched over the last 4 years. And if the Yankees are down 3 runs or less going into the final 3 innings, you're like, all right, the Yankees are still going to win. You're not worried. And I don't know if you guys have a lot of other Orioles-Rays takes. The Rays are missing Wander Franco, and Lau is still out, I believe, which hurts, and we've said that the last few episodes. But at a certain point of the season, you got to start saying what's real and what matters. The Baltimore Orioles in the AL East have a better record than the Seattle Mariners, who just lost 4 out of 5 to the Halos.
And good for the Halos, because that was the feisty brother situation. But they also lose Rendon for the season.
Yeah.
With season-ending wrist surgery.
Was it wrist or thumb? Yeah.
Rendon, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so that's a bummer.
Wrist, yep.
And even so, they beat the Mariners. So in Seattle, what's going on there? And what can become of that? Robbie Ray had another good start. So that was cool. But
yeah, I mean, the Mariners offense just wasn't there. I did mark in bold, and I caps locked the JP Crawford stuff. If you guys want to go check it out. He had some stuff in the game I thought was fun, but it was the Mike Trout series there. I mean, he was just abusing pitchers, and I don't like the intentional walk. I think we need to get rid of the intentional walk. I think it's bullshit. But like, if it's still in the game, I would go like this all the time for old Mikey Trout up there, because he loves hitting there.
I would be interested in an experimental rule where the intentional walk gives the guy second.
Something like that. You probably wouldn't see it ever again then. You'd only see like unintentional, intentional walks.
In the dirt.
Sometimes
but
hard for pitchers.
That's better, because then you have the opportunity for
a
a pass ball, a wild pitch, a missed spot and a swing, and like action.
Bring the action.
But then, you know, you could just still intentionally walk the old way too. Because that wasn't a free base. You still had to get down, or like, you know, the catcher was there doing this and all that.
The catcher has to stay squatted. I don't know, but it is kind of becoming a bummer to see the star player just get intentionally walked when they don't even like throw any pitches at all. If you buy tickets,
yes,
and like, you know, especially the extra inning rules when they just intentionally walk Judge like every time he came up, and it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing as an entertainment business if this is the way it goes?
Be funny if
game one was Trout and Ohtani. You got something, Jay? Go ahead.
I would say it'd be funny. We're pretty deep in the cricket world. You've been a cricket guy, Trev, so you brought us in, and it's a gentleman's game. And it would be funny if like you gave the ump a rule if he deemed an unintentional walk, like you get an extra base or something like that. But that would get so ugly so fast, because Americans are monsters.
Don't give umpires more blanket judgment rules. All right, we got to go. But the Tigers call up Riley Green. He goes 2 for 3 with 2 walks. That's exciting for them in a very unexciting year. They do split with the Rangers, which is tough for the Rangers because they lose out on second place. Yeah. Second place.
Tigers started to hit the ball the last 2 games of the series. In game 3, they had 19 hits. That's what you like. If you're a Tigers fan, yeah, Riley Green came up 4 walks and 2 starts. That's nice to see. Series split we don't love. Gray has been really good. 2.52 ERA in June, 7 shutty in the game that he did. Is he on the trading block? Martin Perez, another good start. Is he on the trading block? Are they going to sign him? Like, we'll see. We'll see what's going on there. And then we have Royals and A's, and I know you guys are not going to want to talk about that.
We're getting to the point of the season where, like, series like this, Royals and A's, is going to have to, whatever it is needs to be talked about, it comes up in Fuego, Slump Watch, awards, standout, because we can't detail this series.
I'll go through it quick. Montes, not a great start. I think he's had a few bad starts in a row. Like, obviously his trade value is still there. We'll see what happens there. Second game, kind of a bummer. Keller does really well. My boy Swerve Irvin's out there. In the 6th inning, Taylor hits a ball, kind of like a base hit to left field, but the left fielder dives for it, so it puts him on third. He ends up scoring. And that was basically it for the Royals. They won 2-0. And then 4-0 A's. Royals offense just didn't show up. And I think in that game, 3-run home run in the 6th for the A's.
The 15th versus the 14th seed in the AL.
Once we go to fully true expanded playoffs, that's a big one.
Owner's dreams.
That's a big one.
The owner's dreams. Cool. All right. You guys want to hear about the IL?
Did you do IL?
I did.
Wait.
Yeah.
1 second. I wanted to talk about this just real quick. Okay. We got to go back to the Angels-Mariners. You see the Robbie Ray thing?
But shaved face.
He had a no-hitter. 2 outs in the 7th. Okay. There's a couple errors, so whatever. No hitter. 2 outs in the 7th, and he gets a chopper back to him. It reminded me of someone we saw this weekend. Just couldn't get the legs up. Like, just didn't jump for it. It was a comebacker right to him, just right off his glove, but he just didn't jump for it. And you can see immediately he just goes down like, oh shit, I just fucked up a chance for a no-hitter. So that was tough for him, but I wanted to mention it because it was like I saw it and I audibly gasped.
What was he throwing? Is he still a 2-seamer? Oh my God.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I just looking at his pitch mix. He's a 2-seam pitcher now. I just never seen a pitcher win the Cy Young, and then in the middle, just wildly change who he is. I mean, since he made that change in the 2nd inning versus Houston, he just is a 2-seam pitcher now. And it's kind of crazy. Good for him to be able to pivot. He went 48% 2-seamers. Game before was 48% 2-seamers. The game before that,
I think it's amazing.
I do. It's very impressive. Yeah. The game before that, he threw a 2-seamer for the first time all season. It's wild. I mean, are the strikeouts just going down then in this game? Is it just all way more balls in play?
His strikeouts are down a little bit. He's leading the AL.
He had 10 Ks.
He's leading the AL in innings pitched. His strikeouts on the year are down.
Yeah.
Damn. Cool. All right. Here's what happened in the IL. Let me find it. Oh, the Guardians and the Dodgers played 3 games in LA. The Dodgers cannot hit with runners in scoring position. They don't have Mookie Betts, and that comes up costly. The Guardians come back in games 1 and come back in game 3 to win the bread games of the series. Our guy Richie Palacios called up in the interim for Franmil, I believe, and he has 2 pinch hit go-ahead RBIs to help the Guardians out. Bieber looked really good in game 3. Heaney came back off the IL. He looked good for 5 innings. They actually looked good the whole time. They probably went 1 inning too long. Kershaw in his second start versus Plesac. Good close ball games. The Guardians win. They win the series. Cardinals and Red Sox. This was cool. The first game was Wacha versus Waino. First time that Michael Wacha pitched against his old team. He gives Waino a ton of credit for being his mentor. Red Sox win game 1. Cardinals blow their doors off in game 2. And then the Red Sox win game 3. Both of those games look close, 6-5 in game 1 for the Red Sox, 6-4 in game 3 for the Red Sox. It's because they were up 4 runs and like 3 runs and tried to get, some outs without using their top bullpen guys. Didn't work out. Houck had to come in both games to lock it down. Pivetta pitched really good for the Sox. He's on a bit of a heater. Twins and D-backs played 3 games. The Twins won 1, the meat. The D-backs win the bread. Twins win came off a lot of offense. Gary Sanchez homered, but Dylan Bundy had a phenomenal game. Jake's Dylan Bundy. And for the D-backs, they called up Buddy Kennedy, who got his bat going. I mean, he just put on a show in both games, kind of. So, Buddy Kennedy, what a name, what a performer. Merrill Kelly had a great start. Bumgarner had a good start. And the D-backs take 2 out of 3 there. Now, like I said, 2 of these teams, by winning the series, jumped into second place. The Guardians are, at this point, second place in the AL, and they're only 2 games back behind the Twins, who lost in an interleague series. And those teams are about to play each other, I believe.
They're 1 game back of the Twins, right?
Oh yeah, that's the old. That's they were 2 back, and now they're 1 back. And what was the other? The Cardinals. They tie, they lose, they tie. That was the ramifications of all of that. I wrote down some interesting factoids I found from these games. Like for Cleveland, it's their 6th straight series win. That's good. They've won 15 of their last 19. And they did it in game 3 without J-Ram. He didn't play in game 2 or game 3. And he is their offense in a way. They have a lot of young guys that are playing some pretty good ball. Richie Palacios, 2 big pinch hit appearances. He's probably going to get sent back down and get regular reps when Franmil comes back. And then the Dodgers were hurt by Mookie because they had just a straight up drop ball in right field. Didn't end up really hurting him in the end. And then another ball in game 3 that maybe gets caught, doesn't. Belly homers. He homers and steals a base. First time he's done that since 2020. Good job by him. And also the Guardians in game 1 didn't have their full bullpen crew. So they went with a bunch of guys that have never really done, like Clase, Morgan, and Shaw were down because they pitched 3 times in a row. So it was, how do you pronounce this dude's name? Henches?
Yes.
Okay. Steven and Ghost and De Los Santos came in. Ghost is a really cool story from position player to pitcher. And they locked it down. They locked down the Dodgers. That was pretty cool.
Ghost is interesting because I've played against him when he was an outfielder. He never sat back where holy shit, this guy's got an arm. I never really thought that about him. Then he gets on the mound and throws cheese. Yeah. It's cool.
J-Ram, incredible year. Like you mentioned, Jim, he's out on this. Jimenez deserves some love. We talked about him on the All-JM team. He had missed some time, but he's having a really nice season. And, man, it keeps feeling like a young guy has their moment. Cron was the story at the start of the season. Oscar Gonzalez, he's come up and put up some big boy numbers. So it's pretty cool the contributions they're getting.
He hit his first home run, which is a big home run. And that's what I said last episode or a couple episodes ago about him. And he was supposed to be a power hitter, and it was impressive. He went 22 games without hitting a homer. And then he took a first pitch of the inning, Heaney, 79-mile-per-hour curveball, and threw it over the wall.
Do not bring that in here.
Yeah. Kimbrel blew the save in game 3. I think Robert said he's still the closer. Other people have pitched in other roles, was gone, but it wasn't a save. It was tied, but he blew it. So
Dodgers could use AJ Pollock, that fuck, right now, couldn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Hey, our notes say, and obviously they got this from the Dodgers website, 2 weeks for Mookie Betts. Yeah, right, bro. This is 4 to 6, more like 6 to 8. You crack a rib,
he's different.
You can't do anything. Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Is he fucking Max Scherzer or Mookie Betts?
Well,
We're gonna find out.
Say 2 weeks, and then you say he's a slow healer.
Dude, you crack a rib 2 weeks?
You guys know I'm a big June guy. The Dodgers, considered one of, if not the best team in baseball, 7-9 in June. 7-9 in June.
Yeah, they had their first sack fly since like May 28th. Yeah.
A June swoon, if you will.
A June swoon. This is pretty good. He's allowed just 3 earned runs over his last 3 starts, 17 innings. Also, Reyes Maranta pitched, and he was on the Giants for a while. He got sent back down, but he's 5'10", 265. Sight to see on the mound.
Yeah.
Different kind of pitcher.
Cleveland has a lot of the things I like when I'm scouting baseball teams and ranking them in my head. Like their starting pitching has been really good. Our boy Sticks, McKenzie's just having a great year. And people forget he's 24 years old, like 24 or 25. Their starting pitching has been great. Bieber's looked better and better and better. Plesac's doing his thing. They got starters, and on the back end of their bullpen, they got guys there. So like I'm digging that side. And then on the offensive side, it's mostly J-Ram, but as Chris Rose likes to say, they play the old school brand of baseball. They don't hit a lot of homers, but they move runners. They take the extra base. I referenced this morning. I said they're what every team in spring training says they're going to be. We're going to take the extra base this year. We're going first to third. We're going to play good defense. We're going to do good bunt plays. It's like, no, bro, you're just going to go try to hit 3-run homers. This team is actually trying to do it, and they've been playing good, man. Like they put themselves. It's now a 3-team race for the AL Central. And we thought it was one team going to run away with it at the beginning of the year, and it just hasn't been that way.
I have something to make our Guardians fans happy. Chris Rose was coming to our studio to do the Rose rotation with Miggy Rowe in person. They were excited. Rob Scirocco, who's the producer of that show, got to the office first. Chris Rose called him and said, "Hey, Robbie, I'm on my way to the office. Can you put the Guardians game on?" So Chris Rose wanted to walk into the office and have his Guardians on the screen. So
right away.
Built different.
He's a freak.
Built different.
I mean, he's playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's probably got some LA friends he needs to like talk shit to.
Yeah.
No, they can. Cardinals in Boston. The Red Sox are now 13-4 in the month of June.
June guy.
Big June guy.
Yeah, with an 82-51 run differential in that month. They're hitting like crazy. In game 1, they had 2 shift-beating RBIs. JD and JBJ just both beat the shift to score runs. Devers hit a chopper over Arenado's head. Waka pitched a good game. But on the Cardinals side, they were in it. They kept fighting. They made Houck come in. They actually got 2 doubles off Houck before finally losing. In game 2, the Cardinals scored the most runs they've scored at Fenway since the 1946 World Series.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. And both Nolans hit homers. But then in game 3, Pivetta, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Okay.
I hear about that later.
I didn't realize that Ref Snyder got called up on June 10th for the Red Sox and has been hitting really well. With
a really nice play in the previous series defensively.
Yeah, he's leading off. He was leading off against lefties with Duran, leading off against righties. But in the latest game, he led off against righty. He's hitting. The stats were kind of like, like stupid stats, like 380 batting average or 400. But, I mean, Ref Snyder's it's a wild name. Good for him.
And Red Sox, they got some good juice. Like you said, they're playing well in June. They've won their last 5 series, and they're trying to add, they lit the fire. Now they're trying to throw a little gasoline on it. They're calling up Trev's Jeter Downs. Chris Sale starting his rehab assignment. Kike is supposed to return later this week. So, yeah, you got yourself involved in this season. It's going, and now they're looking to splash a little gasoline on it. All right, Sox.
Jeter Downs definitely remembers me put my hands on him in the cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have any of his cards?
Probably not. He probably doesn't.
Did we see him out in Colorado at the All-Star game last year? Didn't we? Don't think he remembered me then either. So, yeah, it's okay.
0 for 2 then.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
I'm YouTube famous.
Your Twinkies, Trev, they lose to Arizona.
Whoops.
They win the game. Bundy pitches really well. He had extended rest, like 9 days rest. So, just go to a 9-man rotation. You got Bundy.
Yeah.
Twins went 7 for 12 runners in scoring position in the game they won. Not really about that. Buddy Kennedy makes his debut. Maybe I'll make him my award since we're running a little late because there's some good stuff there. The Twins did call up Kirilloff, who they sent him back to the minors because he'd come back from the injury. He needed to get his strength back, kind of like find his body again, basically. And he absolutely lit up AAA. I mean, 385 batting average, 477 on base, with a 725 slugging in 28 games in AAA. So they were like, he'll come back up. Polanco also went on the IL. Yeah. So hopefully that helps the Twinkies out. And I think they're kind of a little bit whole. Ryan had a good start. Gray's back. Bundy gives them a flash. So they're getting...
So the best team in the AL Central can't beat the Snakes. That makes sense, though.
They can't, if you're a team like the Twins, you can't be happy when you're seeing some of the big market teams lose guys. And now you're like, damn. Like, for instance, the Dodgers, they lose Buehler pretty much for the rest of the year till the end of September. So that enters them into the pitching market. You see Mookie Betts go down. Are they going to enter the outfield market, the offensive market, stuff like that? There's a lot of teams looking for stuff, and the Twins need to make a move, and we know what the Brewers have to do. It's going to be a very, very interesting trade deadline. A lot of teams looking to improve here because the extra playoff spot makes you want to go for it. I'm kind of here for it now. I didn't love the expanded, but I think 12 might be the right number.
Well, we'll see how the playoffs. Because in 2020, it was like, yeah, okay, this is kind of cool. There's a lot of playoff baseball on, and then all of the wild card series sucked. It was just bad baseball.
Were those 1 game or 3 games?
3.
Those were 3.
Remember the
weird times.
Remember the Red series? It was just like, but this is
A's, White Sox
this is just bad baseball. Yeah.
Jimmy got really shook by the Reds Braves series. That'll be a lifetime.
We were touting the Reds the entire season.
We wanted to tout the Reds.
It's just like that should not have been a nationally televised playoff game. You're trying to promote a sport here, and it was just like it was just an awful time.
Shout out to our guy Luis Rise. He's moved over to second base now, and he was playing a lot of first. So if he is hitting like he is, and he can be a little bit versatile for them, that's awesome with Kirilloff going to first base, which moves Miranda to DH. Fun stuff for the Twins, but not enough Snakes talk here. Alek Thomas, super prospect Alek Thomas, doing his thing still. Love that for us. And then big Christian Skywalker, 2 home runs. He's got some pop. He's a pop guy.
This is interesting.
Okay.
Ryan Yobbs in the chat. Yeah. Shout out. He said Jeter Downs is batting 180 in the minors this year.
We can get there.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
That's interesting. Okay. Keep going, Ryan Yobbs. Dig for us, okay? Because what?
No, yeah, it's true. 180, 297 on base, 397 slug. So they just need defense then?
It's the 13 pitcher thing, I guess. Yeah, you're looking for a role player. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah.
Why would you call him up to sit him? It must be just like a temporary thing.
Maybe a temporary thing.
But then they're starting his clock, right?
Oh yeah, I'm reading it right now. Yeah, 31% strikeout rate too. 627 AAA plate appearances for Jeter Downs, and it's just not. It's not there. It's worse than his overall slash line this year. Christian Arroyo and Kike are both on the IL. So yeah, basically, yeah. He was on the roster.
He was on the 40-man.
A body.
It's a good place to be.
So it looks like they might stash him. Looks like he might just be a reserve and
wish he would have remembered me at the cage.
Taking the game.
That's what's happening here. He does remember you. He's done with minor league baseball. He's a show guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Remember when Gary Thorne laughed at you striking out?
Come on, Jake.
I still have to fight him.
I like reading Trevor Plouffe stuff. He's got a lot of good takes.
No, I'm off Darling too. Doesn't even know who I am.
I'm on Darling. I was on
Jimmy's team Darling.
I went on a podcast. He had me on his podcast.
It's fine. I like him still, but I wish you just know who I was. It's more of a me thing than a wrong thing.
My boy Jake.
I don't know. That's kind of it. Good job by the Snakes. I got more on Buddy Kennedy later, I guess. Good stuff.
Oh, snap. That was lit.
Max
We got an ad?
Max had a good note for me that I can share. He said he sent it to me. 4 players hit their first career home run on Sunday. Most since 2017. Thought it'd be further than that. So it's a fun day. A lot of happy dads out there. 4 to be exact. You count grandparents, maybe. Then you got 12
Uncles.
Well, an uncle doesn't have to be a dad. Luke's an uncle. He's not a dad.
Yeah, but he can still be proud.
Yeah, but I said proud dads.
Yeah, he's a dad to your.
No, he's an uncle.
It's the cousin of the dad.
Wouldn't it be the brother of the dad?
Oh, so it's even closer. All right, make my argument for me, man.
Okay.
Ready?
What? Fuck.
We're going to go to Standout Performances. They're brought to you by DraftKings. Slide into stacks of cash this baseball season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets no matter what, win or lose. If you're looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during MLB season with DraftKings same-game parlays, you can do just that. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, how many bases will be stolen, total runs, and more. It is your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOHNBOY. Bet just $5 and get $150 in free bets no matter what happens on the field. That's promo code JOHNBOY at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission. Standout performances. Jake, you get to lead off here?
Yeah, how about it, boys? I am going out. You boys know. I used to be Colorado's, chosen one. A local kid living out there with my Rockies. Kelsey Winger adapted it as I had to come out east. CJ Cron. I brought him up a couple times on this show last year trying to shine some light on him. He has another 2-homer day, and you need to know about CJ Cron, and we'll see where this Rockies season lands. He has 1.5 years on his contract. The Rockies are pretty much guaranteed to not be a part of October. His value is at a place that a lot of people probably thought CJ Cron wasn't going to get to. He was kind of a journeyman for a little bit. CJ Cron had a 905 OPS last year, 28 home runs, 281, 375, 905 OPS. That's pretty good, right? This year he's come out. He also has a 905 OPS this year, 298, 344, 17 ding-dongs. I don't know. We've talked about the Rockies front office a little bit, and we never seem to know what's going on there. They're not trading guys. They signed Chris Bryant. CJ Cron, I think he has figured it out in Coors. And by the way, it's not like he was a schlub. Like, he had a couple years in his past. 2018 Tampa, he hit 30. 2019, he hit 25 with Minnesota. So, this guy, I don't know. We don't talk about him with a lot of the elite sluggers in the game. He's kind of there. 905 OPS the past 2 seasons now, and he put up a 2-homer day that helped his Rockies sweep the Padres. So I want to give CJ Cron some love.
CJ Cron gets some love. Nice.
Do you guys know career earnings for CJ?
I was just half looking at it, so I might dive out.
$48 million.
23 up until this point. He's got 7.25 coming his way next year, so he's got a cool 30 M.
See, is it him? I get him and Scope mixed up sometimes.
Okay.
Scope mixed up sometimes.
Tough
Which-
last
which-
names
different
to
ball
say.
players.
Power hitters.
Which ones are the only get 1 year deals? When like clearly, I feel like should
Scope.
get that Scope.
And Scope did he did the fan Trex thing, or fan whatever that's called, where he like gave them 10% of his future earnings for a lump sum up front. But he's earned a lot more money than Cron, but still nice.
Okay.
I believe I'm up.
Yeah, who's your standout?
A lot of great performances out there. Like this list is the longest list we've seen on our page here. I'm gonna go with my guy. I could have went Merrill Kelly because I was thinking like, do I go with the Snakes? They just roughed up the Twinkies. But I'm going with my guy, full pension Piv, who's just been absolutely dealing as of late. I like that. I said if he goes, the Red Sox go, and that's kind of been the way it's happened. 7 innings pitched, 1 run. He gets the 10 Ks in this game, but he's just been really good. You're a June guy, right, Jake? You're a June guy.
I love June.
4 games started in June. He's got a 2.00 ERA, 27 innings pitched, only 6 earned runs. He did it in May as well. 6 starts, 2.11. The April-March was not good, but he's figured some things out, looking like the pitcher that a lot of people always say he is. And you know what? I just like watching him throw. Like when he's on the mound, he's one of those like super, super intense guys. And sometimes I don't like that. And sometimes I do like that. It plays much better when you're doing well. And Pivetta has been crushing it as of late. So I'm shouting him out. My guy, full pension Piv, way to go.
He had a bad start, and now he has a good stretch. That's lasted longer than his bad start did. So good job.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his game logs, yeah, he's had, I think, 2 like kind of shitty starts, and then the rest have been pretty damn good.
I thought after like the first month or something, his ERA was bad. I forget. He's also a horse. He goes deep into games.
Yeah.
10 ERA after 3 starts.
Yeah.
8 ERA after in April. Yeah, 8 ERA in
April, March was not good. Then, May and June been very good to him.
So
Finding
good, he's
some
got it
stuff
down
out.
to a 3-3. That's awesome. My standout performer, Dylan Bundy.
Oh.
It's a good start. 8 innings pitched, especially when the D-backs put 7 runs up in the bookend games, and then he shuts them down. He also scrapped a pitch, the sinker, the opposite of Robbie Ray. He climbed the 4-seam up to 43%. 5 starts ago was at 28, which was like kind of a glaringly low. And the changeup was his second most used pitch, only the second time he's done that this season of recent. He also took his curveball and spiked that up instead of the sinker. So a lot more balls with movement, and then the 4-seam there. So it looks like he's looking for that straight fastball and then a bunch of junk off of that. And it worked. The changeup had a 35% whiff percentage, which is high, and then the curveball had a 40% put away. So he looked like he was throwing that with 2 strikes a decent amount. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to last.
Bundy.
9 days off. Maybe that helped in Jake's face. Shuts down his D-backs.
Got his
Maybe-
ERA down to 5.17.
Maybe that's why he did it. Yeah, but the Twins need some. They couldn't get swept by the D-backs, and
Yeah.
it's like a little. He knew he was going up against your team, and there was a little extra oomph.
I mean, 107 bullets. I love that for him. It's crazy how much of an outlier that 2020 season is now on his Baseball Reference, but happy for my guy Dylan.
Was the spin rate way up in that season?
No comment.
I'll find out.
I'm rooting for him.
Oh, it was a little up.
It's just a little up.
It was a little up. 2021 was up. 2020 was kind of down. No, he'd never been a spin rate guy. Why does he throw 4-seam? Anyway, good job, Dylan Bundy.
Real quick, we didn't talk about Michael Lorenzen coming out and saying like the balls are super slick and he hit Justin Upton in the face, basically. I had the ball that I caught at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah?
It's slick as shit, dude. Like, they're telling the truth. Like, these balls are slick as can be. And, it's been a couple of days since I got it, but I remember that night feeling it too, and it felt like a cue ball. So we got to figure this out. It's ridiculous, guys.
Just use the stuff from Japan.
I know. I don't get it. Like, they need to be able to grip the ball. It shouldn't be performance enhancing. Boom. Figure it out.
Still no video of you catching it, right?
Who would regulate that? Like, who would you look to say the league should not own the company that makes the ball? Because that seems like, but is that never to be regulated? Would that come down to like the government?
Kind of.
We'd have to, as a players association, submit something.
Well,
Maybe collectively bargain it.
The only way that you would ever win that is if it went to a judge.
Well, if they found out that balls were being manipulated and there's dead balls and whatever, I mean, then some court would be involved in that.
Found out, MLB's admitted to it.
Yeah. But like intentionally.
Yeah, like MLB, I feel like they say they're doing it so then you can plead ignorance on when it fucks up. They're like, well, we meant to do it, but then the packaging or the fulfillment, and then we had half and half, or well, we didn't think it would be this dead, or we didn't think it would be this juiced, but we don't know if that's where like by admitting that they were attempting to do it, then it gets very blurry on the result because they say, but it wasn't our intention to do it that much. But I don't know. It just seems common sense to me that the league should not own the equipment that has a huge result on. Like, what's next? Can the government stop a sports book from buying Rawlings?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's what you have to think about. And there's two problems with the balls now: dead or alive, and then what are you putting on? So like they've just really just screwed this whole thing up.
Yeah, stupid.
Speaking of bummers.
Can you walk us through Slump Watch, Jake?
God, I can. Jim, you wanted your boy Benny on here. Had a little 2 for 8 wasn't enough for you because we want to see Benny end up in somewhere that matters in October. He went 3 for 15. No bueno. All singles, I believe. So we don't love that. Jorge Soler power. He goes 2 for 7, double RBI and 2 walks. I think he's coming up. They have one more game today, but it's a 444 on base. So he's big, he's handsome. It's like a kind of a nervous clap. Ronald Acuna Jr. Okay.
This is what I was asking about when you were talking Braves, and I said I'll wait because I wanted him to get going.
3 for 13 with a walk, so it's a step up from 1 for 15, but it's not really going. Someone who's going, and that's why I said going weird, is Nolan Arenado. 4 for 11, 2 homers at the friendly confines. Happy for him.
He's off.
And then Josh Bell. How about 5 games? So you got the ABs to do it. And those smart Phillies, he goes 6 for 17 with 4 homers and 4 walks, 2 intentional. So Josh Bell, one of the better shame to flames we've seen in a while.
What team out there needs a first baseman or could use a first baseman at the deadline, or a DH obvious as well? But because he's going to get traded.
You'd like to think so. Do the Sox need one?
Dahlback?
Bobby Dahlback. Franchi Cordero's been playing some first for them. I'm sure there's teams that could use Big Josh Bell. BJB.
He's out. So Soler's off, and so we have Benintendi and Acuna potentially staying on.
Yeah.
But let's see who we might add.
Let's see. We've got Santiago Espinal. He's been such a fun player for the Blue Jays this season, but he puts up an 0 for 11. Jonathan Windia, our rookie with the hair like Zoe Warehouse games. Go check out the one-on-one league. We're in the playoffs.
It's a no on him. I mean, he just returned on June 14th. He played 2 games against Arizona, and then he got these against Milwaukee.
Right.
So I mean, I don't
think
we're ready to pass a judgment on where he's at yet.
Okay. JD Martinez, 1 for 12. Brian Reynolds, a 1 for 12, and he kind of started going. And then Randy, the best to ever do it, also with a 1 for 12 and 7 Ks. So Randy enters a tough place for us because they're about to play the Yanks.
Yeah.
So we might just save him for the next Slump Watch.
Yeah.
And then India's out. So I think we have our 3. I think it's Espinal, JD Martinez, and Brian Reynolds.
That's nice.
That's
of us.
called problem solving, people.
Yes. So India's out and Randy's out. Sorry about you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That worked out. That worked out beautifully. And Ronnie, we're getting him going. I love it. I love it. Next up.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I need my guy Trev back for Fuego because him hearing about the guys who are feeling it, I feel like that's when Trev enters his happy place.
Also, when he drinks his coffee.
Oh, my God. Trev loves coffee.
He does. And
I have it right here.
Trade Coffee is subscription coffee. It connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee by partnering with the country's best craft roasters. These are independent businesses from big cities and small towns. Trade customers are truly impactful for these independent rosters, often being the largest source of growth for them. You take a quiz. They let you know what you like. If you're not sure what you like, they send it to you. Trade has delivered over 5 million bags of fresh coffee with more than 750,000 positive reviews. Who counted them? Trade Coffee did. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/baseball. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/baseball and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/baseball for $30 off. Trev, let's energize you with some hot dudes.
Trev, what if I told you a guy who was just on Slump Watch, Josh Bell, I read the line, but I'm going to read it again. 6 for 17, 4 homers, 4 walks, 2 of them intentional. Big Josh Bell. Where's he going to be playing baseball this fall? Jack Sawinski hitting homers, selling brake pads, and eating sausages. 5 for 9 with 3 ding-dongs. CJ Cron, you already heard about him, but you should hear again about that 7 for 13 with 3 homers. Rizzo, he doesn't even start the 3rd game, but he ends up with a pinch hit homer. He goes 4 for 7 with 2 homers, 3 walks. He's hot. Gleyber Torres on those same Yankees. Trev, you might want to look at Gleyber Torres' numbers. He might be
Seen him.
He might be some all JM team at the end of the month. 7 for 13, homer, 2 doubles. Luke Voit, former Yankee, 5 for 10 with a homer, 2 doubles. Charlie Blackmon, a 6 for 12.
Future Yankee,
How
Charlie
long's he
Blackmon.
been doing it now? And your boy, Robbie Grossman, with the 5 for 13, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, and a couple walks as well. So those are some boys swinging the twig.
I love it. Good job by those guys, huh? You're proud of them?
I am a little bit.
All right.
Torres just looks more aggressive at the plate, like swings looking nice. His core is there. That's what you can tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the kind of like speculated things is that he's in better shape.
You can just tell by he's staying in his position. And you have to be strong with your core to do that.
Double entendre.
Do you have an award, Jake, that you're going to give out?
Not a lot of like sexual talk on this. Usually we get a little more involved. I guess maybe we're starting now.
Wait for Jake's award.
Just wait, because my award is the Plouffe's Taste Award,
I'll taste other dudes.
which can tie into a lot of things. Trev, we had the pleasure of sharing a nice meal. We shared a couple meals, but we had, a nice steak. You love a nice steak. Paired it with a good red wine. Watching you and Joe's eat that.
Me and Joe split a bottle of wine. That was fun.
It's also, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, James, all the fathers. Trev, and you like a good daddy. You know, you come out with your hot boy list, you know, the older men that, you know, kind of have that refined look, got a little money in the bank. Trev, there's one other thing that you like, and it's the young boys. It's the hot boys. And Trev, I told Cleveland Guardian fans, I said, hey.
I say, hey.
Kind of win me over. I said I wanted one other, like, circus act or treat from the Guardians. I don't know if it's that. But I'll tell you what. They're the youngest roster in baseball. And I love that. And can I tell you the other thing that I think I kind of forgot about, especially with all those young, strong, handsome boys walking around? Tito, Terry Francona, he's driving the bus on this thing. Old Tito and the young guys. I told you guys I've been fighting the Guardians all year because I was mad at their front office. I'm going full major league. I'm in on the Guardians. I'm kind of out on the Twins. Dylan Bundy's getting awards. I'm all in on the Guardians. I love J-Ram. I love the young dudes. They're getting it. Like you said, Trev, you almost set this up and you had no idea. They're getting it from their starting pitchers. Some of the young guys, our dude Tristan McKenzie is shoving. Go look at their bullpen and what Eli Morgan and Class A are doing. I love it. And they're getting some of these young guys to step up on the offensive side at different times. The young boys, youngest roster in baseball, and old Tito leading the ship, kind of one of baseball's like last old pillars, but in the best way. I'm in on Guardian season, baby. Let's go get the Central.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big wow for me, dog.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying they're gonna.
No, you are.
You just did.
But like you said before, Trev, they're going to be in it all year. And I didn't believe that earlier in the season or even till now. And now I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think they are going to be.
What if they trade all their good players away?
Yeah, Dodgers are looking for a right fielder right now. And they just said, what if they go get Naquin?
Take them. We got Cron. We got young guys. We're calling up a young dude every week in the Guardians organization, and they're raking.
Yeah, Trev.
I do like the Guardians. I'm glad you gave me the award.
Trev, I just read a tweet. I think it was Rosenthal saying the Dodgers are currently looking to trade for someone for Mookie, which puts that timeline to shambles.
So they've already figured out that Mookie's a slow healer, like Fernando Tatis Jr.
These guys and their slow bones.
2 weeks for a rib? What the?
Josh Naylor's breaking out this year. Andres Jimenez is fighting for that all JM team.
I told you, Jake, this team has the roster that like makes me like teams at the beginning of the season. I like the starting pitching. I like the bullpen. Like they have real deal difference makers in the bullpen. I think you have to have that if you want to do anything in the playoffs or in a stretch like that, the playoff stretch. It's gonna be a dogfight, man. I still think the White Sox, when all healthy, are the best team there, but it doesn't matter. Baseball happens, dude.
And they, Trev, I asked you at dinner. I was like, you gotta missing dinner with the boys. You know, it's when my Yankees go into towns, they're going Michelin, they're going big. Garrett's picking up some of the tabs. When the Guardians come into town, they're going to nice restaurants, but the boys are balling on a budget. You know, we're all 24, 25, 26. And we're having a good time playing Major League Baseball, and that's what it's all about, man.
They're going to Ferragamo or Louis getting their first designer shoe. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right.
Trev, are you giving out an award this episode?
It's an award, but also we're putting someone to sleep.
Oh, shit.
So we're going to call this my favorite. I don't really have a name for it. It's a Legolas quote. It's Talking Baseball, obviously.
Oh.
Okay. We'll call it the Red Sun Award.
Yes.
So as Gimli and Aragorn and Legolas are chasing the Uruk-hai who have Merry and Pippin, they're hot on their tracks in one of the mornings. Legolas gets up and he looks to the sun as it rises. He says, "The red sun rises. Blood has been spilt this night." Mm-hmm. So the sun is representing bloodshed in the previous night. Turns out they're right. Or Legolas is right, because obviously he's a stud. They meet up with the riders of Rohan. They tell them who they're looking for. They're tracking a pack of Uruk-hai across the Western Plain. And the riders say, "We encountered them last night. We left none alive." Okay. So they go into this thing, whatever. The scene comes when they finally get to where the bodies are piled up, and there is one of the Uruk-hai's head on a spit. His tongue's hanging out. It's
brutal.
Massacre.
Oh no.
Bad.
So in this award and this putting to sleep, I'm putting the Mariners to sleep.
Huh. Jake's
that is the proverbial head on the steak.
Jake's like, basically pronouncing the Guardians alive and well.
Yes.
And you are putting the Mariners to sleep.
Mike Trout went in there and spilt blood.
Trout crushes.
He slaughtered the Mariners. The Mariners are now 29-39. They're 10 games below 500. They're 13 games back of the Astros. I had the Mariners in the playoffs. I thought they were going to take a leap offensively. They're like 5th from the bottom in runs scored per game. They just can't figure that out. Mike Trout goes off in a way that, only Mike Trout can do. He goes 0 for 26. That last May 29th to June 5th. Since then, 11 games, 368. He's got 8 homers in those 11 games, 15 RBIs. He went in there, hit 5 in a series. Every single game was a go-ahead Mike Trout home run. He went and slaughtered the Uruk-hai, laid them to sleep, ending the Mariners season. I think they might be the first team that we've actually pronounced dead.
Oh, no, because
it's over.
Shit.
There's other teams that you don't have to say it. I felt like the Mariners were a team that we were all looking forward to seeing them being in the hunt in September, getting to the playoffs. They were so much fun last year, but it just has not happened for them. And they're not going to recover. Mike Trout went and just put them to sleep. So it's an award, but it's also like, pay our respects. They're trying. They got some really fun players out there. Like, I think they're going to be very good. I just don't know when. Next year? That's what we said last year. It's tough for me to say this. Mariners fans are not going to like it, but they got to be feeling it.
You ever seen his numbers in Seattle? I remember when we did the pregame show back in 2020, you'd save Trout's trip to Seattle to choose him in the Homer draft. I mean, 393 plate appearances at Safeco and a 1.144 OPS. 33 home runs in 89 games and 16 doubles and 6 triples. 716 slugging at Safeco. I mean, it's a nightmare.
He's a nightmare.
Mariners have some funky stuff that really limits their abilities within their division. They won their first series in Houston in like 4 years this season. And then whenever the Angels come, Trout single-handedly just crushes them.
3.8 runs a game ain't going to get it done. It's just not.
They have a worse record than the Orioles. It's middle of June.
We're rooting. I'm rooting for the Mariners.
No, I'm rooting. I like their pitching staff. They're so fun, and I really like the way their stadium looks on TV, and I like them. You guys.
If someone could go Photoshop a Mariners logo over the Uruk-hai's head on the steak, and send it to me on Twitter, I would like that.
What's the red sky mean in Lord of the Rings?
A red sun rises. Blood has been spilt this night.
So red sky in the morning.
Yeah.
Red in the morning.
The night before someone's dying.
Red in the morning, sailors take warning. Red at night, sailors delight.
Well, they're on land here, tracking on foot.
My award is the High Society Award. And it goes to Buddy Kennedy, grandson of Don Money. Just 2 unbelievable names that I like Buddy Kennedy and Don Money are mobsters / politicians, a.k.a. the Kennedys. So that's awesome. Buddy Kennedy made his debut for Jake Snakes. He hit a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch, Trev, to make a 3-1 game, a 7-1 game. They gave him the take sign. Our friend Torey Lovello put the take sign on. Third base coach gave him the take sign. He swings anyway. High fastball. It was a ball. Hits a grand slam. He says, I'm sorry. I thought it was 2-0. I didn't even look at the third base coach when I stepped out. He apologized for misremembering the count, but he did it the grand slam. Torey Lovello said, well, if you do swing, he had to take sign. We got to talk about that. If you do swing 3-0, it better be a grand slam. And then he was like, no, actually, we'll talk about it because losing track of the count, not looking at the signs, those are things that we should work on, but it's all a good result. I'm going to let him have his day. He wasn't saying it in a Jace Tingler, hardo way. He was just kind of like, you can't losing track of the count and looking at the signs is kind of like, let's make sure we lock that in. But the result was great. So he also had a little like, I'm sorry. Like I didn't disregard your sign. I just didn't take it in. But grand slam. He also had a walk and a hit in his debut. His grandpa was doing the, in the booth because he was an ex-MLB player during it. And then his dad was on the field for the post-game show. So
got the Gatorade shower.
Yeah, it was a very cool story for Buddy Kennedy.
Now, him saying I wasn't trying to go against the sign. I just missed it.
He didn't say
also, if you're a hitter, one way to you just don't look. Then you always have that excuse. Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah. He didn't say those words. His tone kind of just, he was like, I apologize. Like I thought it was 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there should never be a take sign 3-0, but that's just me.
You got bases loaded and a guy in his second ever big league game. I think that's a pretty good sign for time for a take 3-0.
I feel like we think that only because it's been ingrained in us to take 3-0. If you just really look at the numbers and stuff, you should be ready to hit 3-0. You just saw 3 pitches, your timing is there. Fuck, man.
I agree.
But I get what you're saying too.
I get it from the other side. That was ball 4 and it's RBI walk and you keep the line moving. Instead of, a double play or I don't know how many outs there were. Anyway, it's a cool story.
332 home runs out of Buddy Kennedy's high school since 1916. One is from Buddy. The other 331 are from Michael Trout, another Millville Meteor.
Whoa.
Yeah, him and Trout worked out in the offseason. There's a story of how it was cold and wet, and he texted Trout and was like, hey, I'm not coming in today. And Trout said, you want to be a big leaguer, you don't take a day off. So he came in. Trout was his second phone call after his parents.
Fucking fire me up a little bit right now.
Yeah. He called his parents to let him know he was getting the call. He called Trout next to let him know he was getting the call. And Trout said, see what I told you? Don't take days off.
I love that shit, man. That gets me fired up. I've had to do that.
There's another.
Crash to the gym. Jake.
There's another minor leaguer from that town, too. That's younger than them. I forget. I had it up. But I didn't
Something in the water there. Go test it, Jake. That's your next job.
That Jersey water, baby.
Millville. It's an E. It's a UEZ.
Best friend of the week?
Urban Enterprise Zone. Yeah, best friend of the week.
Big Taiwan Walker, first time this season he's getting the pride. 6.21 earned, 9 Ks, just 2 hits in that outing, and just 1 walk.
Wow.
11 starts, 288 for Big Ty. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. I will spin the wheel. Once I find the wheel, I'll spin the wheel. I found the wheel.
It's going to be the Reds.
No, it's not.
You don't say that.
Oh, my God. It's the Cubs. It was so close to being the Reds, Trev. The Cubs won. The Cubs are 6 weeks out from trading people. I think that's the conversation if you're a Cubs fan is like, Hope we get a good return and we can trade D-Rob and Wade Miley.
And Wilson Contreras.
And maybe Happer. That's kind of the big debate. Should we trade him or should we not? What are we doing next year? I mean, you could also trade Hendricks if someone wants him. He's got, it's a 2-year. You get him for this year and next year, and he's got a vesting option that they're not going to let hit anyway.
I think if you're with an optimistic Cubs fan, talk to them about Christopher Morel a little bit. Watching him on TV, watching him on person. He's got the swag you like, Trev, and he's been hitting a little bit while he's been in the show. Christopher Morel should be a part of the future Cubbies if you want to get a little juiced up about it.
Clint Frazier praising the Cubs just last week, outrighted off their 40-man roster.
Cleared waivers. Jake sucks.
Hungry.